everyone again in the fifth webinar of Digi-Tour-Skills project. So let me give you again a quick introduction for the recording as well. This is currently the fifth seminar for the Digi-Tour-Skills project, and in this webinar we will delve into paid advertisements and PPC within the tourism sector. This webinar introduced the world of paid advertisements in a simple and practical way. You will understand the basics of paid advertisements, how it applies to tourism, and discover tips on budgeting and maybe driving your campaigns in the future for your tourism businesses. Let me take a moment to introduce our experts, trainers for today. We have Nikos Kolonis and Achilleas Gokios with us. They are both from OmniClick, Thessaloniki. Nikos Kolonis is a performance marketing specialist with over 4 years of digital marketing experience. Combining his background in psychology with industry expertise, Nikos creates data-driven advertising strategies that connect with audiences while delivering measurable results. He has successfully managed comprehensive digital marketing campaigns for numerous prominent clients and companies, specializing in performance marketing across multiple platforms. Achilleas Gokios is a senior performance marketing specialist with over 6 years of experience in performance marketing. He has managed numerous campaigns on e-commerce, and his expertise lies in driving measurable growth through data-driven paid media strategies. Now it is time to hear from our experts. I now invite them to begin their presentation.
So in today's webinar, we will explore the role of paid advertising in the tourism industry, why it is essential, and how to apply effective strategies and practical implementation tips. So the many goals of this webinar are to give you a clear understanding of how effective can paid advertising be in the tourism industry, to explore the role of the most effective channels across the different funnel stages, show you how to choose the appropriate campaign objective, target audiences, and ad formats based on your needs, and finally, how to track campaign success.
I want to start with a question. What best describes your experience with paid advertising? So if you can please type in the chat, 1, I've never used paid advertising before. 2, I've tried it once or twice. Or 3, use them regularly. So if you'd like, you can type in the chat 1, 2, or 3. So I see 2, tried it once or twice. 2 again, 1, never used them. 2, tried it once or twice. One person says 3, use them regularly. Okay, so I understand that most of you, and another person says 1. Okay, most of you are either 1 or 2, so never used it or you've tried it once or twice. So we're gonna first start with the basics. First, what is paid advertising? So I'm guessing most of you know already know what this is. Paid advertising is basically when you pay to promote your product, service, or brand on digital platforms like Google, Facebook, or Instagram. And it is different to organic reach in that with paid advertising, you basically pay to guarantee visibility. So with organic reach, either on Facebook or Google search results, your website or whatever, it might show or it might not. But with paid advertising, you basically pay, and this guarantees that you appear either on the search results or on meta advertising platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So this here is an example of Google search ad. So in this case, somebody has typed wine tasting Madrid. And here they've been presented with 2 different ads. As you can see, this is clearly distinct by the word ad. So these 2 are ads. These are paid results. And then below that, we have the organic results. So the results that are not, somebody has not paid for, they just appear organically on search. So this is an example from the Google search ad, and this is an example of a Facebook ad, different type of ad. This one is more visually based, so you can see it has a profile of the advertiser, then it has some text, and then it has images of the service they're offering, basically. And here you can clearly distinguish that this is a paid ad because it says sponsored on Facebook. And then what is PPC specifically? What does PPC stand for? And PPC is basically, it means pay per click. And a lot of times they're used interchangeably, like paid advertising and PPC. They're sometimes confused. A lot of people think that it means the same thing. But PPC specifically is a particular model for paying for your ads that is the most prominent online. So one misconception is that a lot of people think that you pay online for your ads to be shown. But actually, what is most times true is that you only pay when somebody clicks on your ad. So that's what PPC means. It means pay per click, because you pay every time somebody clicks on your ad.
Now we're going on with why paid advertising is essential for tourism marketing. Nick, if you want to go to the next slide, thank you. So initially and across many surveys, almost 80% of travelers prefer to plan their vacations entirely online. Paid ads allow us to be visible during this phase, either with text ads or with banner ads, if we talk about Google Ads, or across the different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or even TikTok. One main advantage that paid advertising give us is that there are many choices to target the right audience at the right time. We have many targeting options, either by the user's demographics or interests, or also by the user's intent. Later we will explore much more about the targeting options that we have. Booking platforms, they cut off your revenue because of their commissions. From the other side, if we have a website by Facebook and Google Ads, we can drive direct bookings into our website and keep more profit for our business. One other main advantage that paid advertising give us is that there are many tools to track, analyze, and optimize every campaign, every keyword, and generally every action we do, and give us a whole view of our digital marketing efforts in order to not spend money in non-effective actions or campaigns and allocate this budget to the most efficient of them. And finally, and maybe the most important, remarketing, bring back users and give them a second chance to convert. On average, travelers take enough days until they book online, and during this phase, compare many websites. So we have to be right there at the right time in order to get them back into our website and make them convert a little later. Now, and before going on to the specific platforms, it is very important to say some things about the marketing funnel, which applies not only to the digital marketing, but also to the traditional marketing. The marketing funnel represents the journey a customer takes from discovering a brand until making a purchase, and ideally become a loyal customer in order to make a purchase again and again. It is called funnel because, like a real one, it narrows from the one step to another. Now, a mini quiz about all the things that we have discussed until now.
Okay, so people are saying C basically, which is the correct one. So let's move on and see some of the paid advertising platforms that one can use. Unfortunately, we won't have time. Like we have a very brief amount of time so we won't be able to cover all of them. but we're gonna cover the ones that we think are the main ones. And the first one is Google Ads. Probably some people from your answers, I'm assuming you've used Google Ads. Um, and if not, most of you, I'm guessing, have heard of Google Ads. And this includes, you can see the arrows here. This includes the Google search. This includes the Google Display Network. And this also includes YouTube. And we're going to get into more detail in a bit. And then we have Meta Ads, which includes ads in Facebook and Instagram. And those are the big two, the main platforms where one can advertise online. There's also many other smaller ones. Microsoft advertising is gaining some traction. There's also TripAdvisor for the tourism sector. There's TikTok ads now, etc. But we won't have, as I said, we won't have time to cover all of those. So let's start with Google Ads. Google Ads is basically Google's advertising platform for showing your ads across all of Google's advertising networks. And that includes Google Search, that includes the Google Display Network, that includes YouTube, that includes Google Maps as well. There's not just these, there's others as well, but these are the main ones. And now what I want us to do is I want us to go through the main campaign types that one can set up in Google Ads and see why we might want to use those. So first we're going to start with Google Search Ads. Basically, one of the most powerful tools in paid advertising, Google Search Ads. And these are text-based ads that appear mostly at the top of Google search results. So somebody types something, somebody types, for example, hotels in Thessaloniki, one might type weekend activities in Bucharest, and you pay to be shown first in the search results. So one example here, we have an example. Somebody has typed France cycling tours, and you can see they've been presented with 4 different ads. That's the keyword that they've typed, and these are the 4 ads. And below that, we also have, as I said before, organic search results. Now you might be thinking, like, who appears first, who appears second? How do you know where you're going to appear? And that basically has to do with how much you're willing to pay for your ad to appear on the search results. So a very simplified version of it is that the person that pays more appears further at the top or appears more frequently. That's a very simplified version. And if you want to look up like how bidding works in Google Ads and how the whole like auction process for showing ads works, you can find many videos about it on YouTube, but we won't have time to cover that today. And a very brief campaign setup for Google Search Ads because I'm sure many of you would like to try search ads. So basically, what you do is you go on the Google Ads platform. First thing you do is you choose your campaign goal. Like your goal might be a website visit, or it might be bookings from your website. And then you add your keywords. And for this, you need to think about the actual terms that people might be using when they're looking for your service, and you also need to do keyword research for that to see what people are actually searching for. Then you give your ad copy, which are the headlines and descriptions that appear on the search ad. You choose your landing page, which is where people will go after they click on your ad, where specifically on your website. And then you set your budget, which is how much you're willing to pay per day for this ad to appear. Moving on, after the Google search ads, we have Google display ads. And these, as we said, Google search are text-based, these are image-based, and these appear across the whole Google Display Network. And Google Display Network, it basically consists of about 90% of the entire websites that ever exist, like a huge network of websites and apps and blogs. And so this allows your ad, like your image, your banner, your image ad, to appear on any of these websites. And this is not so much based on keywords like search ads, but it's more based on targeting and the specific placements that you choose. This is an example of a display ad. This one is from Airbnb, and you can see like this is the website. This is the Weather Channel website. And there's space on the right for an ad. And here we can see some particular accommodations from Airbnb. This could be the place that your ad appears as well. This is another example from Google Display ad. This one appears on YouTube. Again, we have an image, and then we have a headline and description below the image. And then you can click on the image to learn more. So that's the call to action. And then you go to your website or to your landing page. This is a brief campaign setup for Google Display ads. So you first choose your target audience, who you want to target. And we're going to talk a little bit more about targeting later on, like in a bit. You upload your image or video, and the better the quality, the better your ad is going to perform, basically. So you need high quality images and videos. And then you add your headlines and descriptions, so that is your ad copy, and then you again set your budget. Moving on, we also have Google Video Ads. I'm pretty sure almost all of you have seen those. Well, those are the ads that appear on YouTube. These are great ads for tourism because it gives you the space and a great format to present the experience that you are providing. Again, it is based on audience targeting. This is an example. Basically, this one is an example of an ad appearing before a video. It can also appear in the middle of a video or at the end of the video, etc. And then moving kind of fast here. Another campaign type is Google local ads. And a very simplified version of this is basically ads that appear on Google Maps. So Google Maps is one of the main tools used by travelers. And Google local ads allow you to appear on the maps when somebody searches for something similar. So you might want to promote your restaurant, and somebody that is in a new city, who's just visiting a new city, might be searching restaurants near me or lunch options near me or something like that. That is your chance to appear on the results of the map. And here's an example of that. So here the results at the top are paid, and the ones below that are organic. Moving on, Google also has hotel ads. And these are ads that are specifically tailored for accommodation providers, like hotels, bed and breakfasts, guest houses, like these sorts of things. And you allow me to show you an example. This is how a hotel ad might appear. It has an interface tailored specifically to booking a room, and it allows you to select specific dates, choose where you want to book your room from, etc. This is another example. So here somebody has said hotel room mate Aitana. And first, we have the hotel ads, and then below that, at 2 here, we have the search ad, and below that, we have the organic search results. So sometimes it is a good strategy to use both hotel ads and Google search ads, because this allows you to sometimes appear 2 times. So like somebody's searching for a room or something like that, is won't miss your accommodation. They're sure to see it. Last but not least, we have Google Performance Max campaigns. And this is a relatively new campaign type. And it basically uses automation, uses AI and machine learning. It is relatively easy to set up. It's like a campaign type that I would recommend to beginners because it's very easy to set up. And what this allows you to do is with a few simple steps, it allows you to just appear everywhere across Google networks. So this is like a depiction of it. So with one campaign, like you don't have to set up multiple campaigns. You don't have to set up different campaigns for search ad, a video ad, etc. You just set up one campaign, and this allows you to appear everywhere. So display network, so that is Google Search, YouTube, Maps, etc. All of this through one campaign. And this is like a simple setup of how you might set up a performance max campaign. Giving you like a few seconds to look through that. And here is the recap, because I understand that if somebody is not familiar with paid advertising, this is a lot of information at once. So this is a recap of all of the campaign types, the Google campaign types that I've discussed in the past few minutes. So again, we have search ads, the text-based ads on Google search results. We have display ads. These are great for brand awareness. They're image-based, but they also allow you to retarget, do remarketing to people who have already visited your site, but they've not purchased or made a booking. We have video ads that appear on YouTube. We have local ads that appear on Maps. We have hotel ads specific for accommodations and hotels. And we have the Performance Max campaign type, which is the automated campaign type that we just discussed about. The main, like two of the main ways that you pay for on Google Ads. One is CPC, as we discussed before. So you pay every time somebody clicks on your ad. And another way is CPM. So and this is mostly used for display ads or video ads, where you pay for every 10,000 impressions that your ad gets. These are the two main ways that you pay for ads on Google Ads. Now moving on to Meta Ads. Achilles, do you want to take it from here?
Yes, thank you, Nick. We move on with Meta Ads in order to see why to use Meta Ads in the tourism industry, beginning with the advantages that the channel have. First of all, Facebook is a demand-side channel ideal for brand awareness actions and can drive brand exposure to broad audiences and potential customers. Meta is a visual first platform. We could say that it is a visual first platform and works properly for showcasing destinations, hotels, rooms, and generally other travel experiences. And as we also discussed, and Nick mentioned about Google Ads, there is a detailed targeting power on Meta Ads based on the demographics and interests that the users have. Now, based on the final stage that we are and the business needs that we have, there are different options about campaign objectives and campaign types that we can use. But before we explore its campaign objective, Nick, if you want to go to the next slide, it is important to understand how the Meta's ad structure works in order to run Meta ads effectively. We could say that Meta ads are built in 3 layers. The first one is the campaign objective, is the campaign level, is the place where it's campaign objective based on our business needs. The second one is the ad set level. We could say that this is the strategy section. At the ad set level, we choose our budget. For example, we want to spend 1,000 euro. We have two options here, lifetime budget and daily budget. Our targeting options, we'll discuss a little later for them. And we also choose the placements if you want to run our ads on Facebook feeds, Instagram feeds, Reels, or Stories. Finally, we have the ad level. This is the creative layer. Is the place where we choose our ad format. We have many ad formats, images, videos, carousel ads, and we also choose our text. One tip here is to use a strong call to action button, especially if we talk about purchase campaigns, booking campaigns. We should use a call to action button like book now in order to motivate the potential customer to make the desired action. So let's begin with the awareness stage. Our goal here is not to drive direct bookings, but to build recognition and visibility to people that have never interacted with us before. And this is the main key point here at this stage. We want to target people that don't know anything about our brand. We have two main campaign objectives here, the reach objective and the awareness objective. Both of them help us to show our brand to thousands or even millions of people who may not actively searching yet. These campaigns are ideal for promoting the destination's beauty and highlighting what makes our hotel unique. The main difference between these two objectives is that in the reach objective, we want to show our ad to as many people as it is possible. From the other side, the awareness objective, we give priority to the quality of impression and Meta's AI show the ads to people that may recall our brand later. The second one is the consideration stage. This is the stage that we want to take the customer closer to taking an action. We don't want to sell yet, but we want to provide value and keep the interest alive. We have four main campaign objectives here. Traffic objective, engagement objective. Nick, if you want to go to the next slide. Thank you. Instagram profile visits and messenger ads. It is recommended if you already have a website to run traffic campaigns, because by this way you will manage to catch all the website visitors and then do retargeting campaigns, as Nikos also said for Google Ads. Nick, if you want to go to the previous again. Thank you. So if you don't have a website, you can run engagement campaigns. They are ideal for promoting your social media posts, and engagement campaigns drive many likes and many comments in order to keep your audience warm and keep the interest for your audience. Now, if you choose to use messenger ad, it is recommended to answer to the potential customer as soon as possible in order to keep them warm. Finally, we have the conversion stage. This is the action-oriented stage. The goal here is simply turn interests into bookings. Here we should target the warm audiences from the previous steps and make them customers. If your website supports online bookings, you should use purchase campaigns. By this way, you will manage to track not only your bookings, but also the values of them. From the other side, if you don't have a website, it is better to run on Facebook lead generation campaigns, and we will discuss about lead generation campaigns a little later. Now, there are many ad formats based on your campaign's objectives and the business needs that we have. For example, as we said, we have video ads, static image ads. We have images for reels and stories, and lead forms ads. In the upcoming slides, we have some practical examples. At this one, we have a video reel for awareness stage. At the second one, there is a static image for conversion actions, for booking actions, because we see that there is a discount coupon code. So this ad tries to make the people make a booking. We have carousel ads until 10 cards in one ad. We could use our room photos in each card, and it is also recommended to use, as we also said, to have a strong call to action button like book now in order to motivate the potential customer to make the booking. Now, as we said, we have lead generation ads. These ads are ideal for collected users' info directly in Facebook and Instagram platforms. There is an instant form that the user completes without leaving the application. It is also very important here to respond to the people that already filled the form as soon as possible in order to keep the interest warm. Now let's see how Meta charges the advertisers. Meta runs an auction system, and every time an ad slot is available, Meta runs an auction among the advertisers that target the same audience. The main charge method in Facebook ads is CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions or views. And your costs may vary depending on how competitive your audience is, how engaging is your ad, and how well optimized is your campaign structure. Now also we have a mini quiz. What does CPM stand for in Meta and Google Ads?
Okay, most people have said C. Yeah.
The right one. Nice.
That is correct. Yes. But now let's move on to targeting, which is very important because you can have like the most beautiful visuals, you can have the best text, the perfect ad, but if you don't show it to the right audience, it's not going to perform well. Like if you don't make sure it reaches the right audience, then it's not going to have the performance that you want it to. So let's explore some of the different targeting options that we have for both Google Ads and Meta Ads, so across the platforms. So one option is to target based on location. It's very simple to understand. So you target a specific country, or you target a specific region, a city, or a specific postal code, and I'm sure you can understand the power this has for specifically for the tourism sector. And then we also have the option to target based on demographics. So the main options are target based on age. Then we have gender. Then we have parental status. Somebody is a parent or somebody is not a parent. We have limited options about household income. It's not widely available in most countries, but in some countries you can do it. Like for example, if you're targeting the US for some reason, you can choose to target people based on their income. And then we have also limited options to target based on education level, like if somebody has a university degree, if somebody does not have a university degree, etc. We also can target based on language, so the language that somebody uses on their phone, for example. And this is very powerful because you might want to target, like in combination with location targeting, you might want to target a specific location, but only target people that speak another language than the main language that is usually spoken in that particular area. For example, you might want to target Chinese tourists in Athens. So you choose as a location Athens, and then you choose as your language Chinese. So this won't be shown to everyone. It will just be shown to people that have Chinese on their phone or just like the social media, etc. And that's also another very powerful option is to target based on interests and behaviors. This one is much more potent in meta ads, so in social media, Instagram and Facebook, and but it is also available on Google Ads. So in those platforms, you have some pre-built audiences. So you, for example, have an audience like frequent travelers. So I'm only targeting frequent travelers, or international travelers, another option. Or you can target based on interest. So people that are interested in adventure travel or ecotourism or just cruises. And you can also target based on life events. So somebody that is newly engaged might be looking for a honeymoon trip. So you can only target those specific people. Another option that is only available in Google Ads is to use target in-market audiences. So these are audiences, these are people that are actively looking to buy something, to purchase a specific service or something like that. So it might be people actively researching vacation rentals or searching for hotel to book in a specific area or something like that. You only target those people. We've briefly touched upon this. You also have the ability to do retargeting, or sometimes also called remarketing. So these are people that have in some way engaged with your business in the past. They might have visited your website, or they might have engaged with your social media. They might have liked the post on your social media, but didn't do anything after that. You have the ability to retarget those specific people. Like somebody might have seen one of your ads, they might have clicked on it, went to your website, but then they might have explored your services, but then they didn't do anything after that. They just left and never returned. You have the ability to use retargeting to show your ad or a more specific ad to those same people, and this gives you like a second chance to for them to go back to your website and maybe do the booking or buy the service or whatever it is that you offer. And another option that I want to mention is two other options actually are customer lists. So customer lists are your first party data, that is data that you have collected. So you might have all your previous customers in an Excel sheet. You have the ability to upload their emails and their phones to the platforms and target those specific users. And apart from that, you also have the ability to create lookalike based on these and other audiences. So you upload the customer list, you say to the Meta Ads platform, for example, you say, I have those 2,000 customers that have booked from me in the past. Please find some other people on the platform, on Instagram, on Facebook, that are similar to this original audience. And you can be as broad or as specific as you want about this. And Meta will usually do a very good job at finding other people that are similar to your to people that are already your customers. Like lookalike audiences usually work very well in digital marketing. And again, this is like a brief overview of all the targeting options that we have. So we talked about location targeting, we talked about demographics targeting, language targeting, targeting that is based on interests and behaviors. Then we have in-market audiences. So what you have, these are people that are actively looking or researching to buy something, to go on holidays, whatever it might be. We have retargeting or remarketing. We have customer lists, which is your first party data. And then we also have lookalike audiences.
And now we have set our campaign. It has been running for a month. We have spent 1,000 euros, for example. So we have to see how well it performed, how many bookings we have from our ads. First of all, and before looking at the specific platforms and KPIs, we should define the difference between metric and KPI. By the term metric, we mean a measurable piece of data like clicks or impressions. By the term KPI, key performance indicator, we mean a metric that is aligned to specific business goal and show us how well we are achieving this goal. Nick, thank you. The main KPIs in Google Ads and Facebook Ads are almost the same. For example, we have CTR both in Google Ads and Facebook Ads and Meta Ads. This metric show us from 100 people that saw our ads, how many finally clicked on the ad, and it is an indicator of how effectiveness is our ad. CPC, as Nikos said, this is how Google charges the advertiser, how much each click costs to us. Quality score, this is a quality data that show us how relevant is our ad with the keyword and with the landing page of our website. Conversions, such as bookings, conversion may be whatever action we want the user to do into our website. Conversion rate, from 100 people that clicked on our ad, how many finally converted? The cost per conversion, for example, we spent 10 euros and we had one conversion. So this means that our cost per conversion is 10 euros. And the return on ad spend, ROAS, this metric show us how many euros we take back from the ad for every euro that we have spent. For example, if we have spent 1 euro and our booking value was 5 euros, this means that our ROAS was 5. Nick, thank you. Most of the metrics and KPIs are the same in Facebook ads. It depends on the objective and the goals that we have. And finally, there is one powerful tool, Google Analytics 4. This is a platform that combines all the different metrics and KPIs from the different platforms like Facebook ads and Google ads, and give us the whole view of our digital marketing efforts and marketing effectiveness. We have some main metrics here, like how many users got into our website, what are the most visited landing pages of our website, the source from which user got into our website. For example, some users came from Facebook ads, some other users came from Google ads. And finally, how many bookings, how many purchases we had and the total revenue of these bookings. It is very important to communicate with the developer because all these things are technically, and it should be implemented by developers. So we also have a mini quiz. What makes a metric become a KPI? What's the main difference between these two terms? Nick, if you want to see.
Sure. So is it A when it has a decimal value? Is it, people are not so sure. When it's related to social media only, B, is it C when it aligns with a business goal? Or is it D when it's included in the dashboard? It seems people are not very sure about this.
It's a hard question, probably.
Yeah, probably. But the correct question is C when it aligns with a business goal. Otherwise, it's just a metric. Like if you're in the Google Ads platform, or if you're in the Meta Ads platform, it gives you multiple metrics. It gives you like almost have like dozens or hundreds of metrics, but not all of those are relevant to you. So the ones that are relevant to you, the ones that you care about, like you might care for bookings, then bookings becomes your KPI. That's the difference basically. And wrapping this up, I want to mention some best practices when you set up an ad and some mistakes to avoid. So let's start with best practices. One thing is you need to set clear goals before launching your campaigns. So even before launching your campaign, you need to decide if your campaign aims for awareness, does it aim for engagement, does it aim for bookings? So your goal needs to be clear in your mind. So then you know which is the right format for you, which campaign type to choose, etc. And also so that you know what your KPIs are, basically how you measure the success of your campaign. Another thing is you need to use strong visuals. As I said before, the better the quality, the better the result is going to be. So you need high quality images, no low quality pixelated images. You don't want any of those. We've seen a lot of things. Another very important thing is you need to add clear CTA. So CTA stands for call to action. And these are basically usually in the form of a button. It's the thing that directs the user on what they're supposed to do. Like I've seen an ad. Okay, what am I supposed to do now? So you need to direct the user with a CTA that says, I don't know, book now might be your CTA. It might be learn more. It might be continue reading. It might be, but whatever it is, it needs to be one thing and it needs to be very clear. Another good practice is to use A/B testing. So, and platforms, both Meta Ads and Google Ads make this very easy to do. So you don't only give one image, you don't only give one text option, you give multiple text options, you give multiple images. So that then you can see which one of those performs better. Like I'm giving the platform two different images, I'm giving the platform two different text options. And then I continue to monitor my campaign, to track my campaign, and I see, okay, this text does not perform that well. So I stop using it. I might want to try another one. And I see, okay, this one performs better. So I'm going to stop using the other one. I'm going to use this one more. That's basically what A/B testing is. Another very good practice for specifically for people in the tourism industry is to use reviews and testimonials. So that's also called social proof. It's like as people, we might not be very sure about something that we see, like, do I want to book with this hotel? Do I want to book with the other one? So what we usually do is we usually read reviews, or we usually take some other person's opinion about it. Like, oh, okay, I've stayed there and it's a great hotel, so I recommend it to you. So it is a good practice to include those in your ad copy, because that's what helps people make decision, like a quicker decision or a better decision. And another thing we've mentioned before is remarketing. So um, do not expect from a person to just see your ad once and to immediately make a booking. They need to see your ad once, might need to see it twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, might be many times before somebody performs the final action that you want them to. That's why it's good to have multiple campaign types, or even use performance marks, as I said before, which combines many campaign types into one. And then also use remarketing, because this allows a person to basically remember you and choose you, hopefully. And some mistakes to avoid when running paid advertising. So one very important thing is do not skip tracking. Like we've also seen this sometimes. Like this is people tend to skip tracking because it's technical. It allows technical knowledge. It allows basically a developer to do it. And people might think, oh, I don't have the resource for that. I don't need that. But if you don't have tracking, you don't know what the results of your campaigns are. You don't have a way to measure the results of your campaign. Like somebody might be clicking on your ad. Okay, you know that somebody has clicked on your ad, and then they go to your web page. And then what do they do there? Like you need to have tracking so that you can you know that, okay, this person visited my contact page. This person sent a form, or they clicked on my phone number, or they clicked on the email. So you need tracking to be able to measure all of those things. Another mistake people usually do is they target very broadly, and we've covered in this webinar the different targeting options. These are very powerful tools. It can they can either make your success or failure if you don't use them properly. Because like it's very easy to just set up a campaign and just not care about targeting, but then you're not gonna get the results that you're looking for, basically. Avoid set and forget campaigns. So you set up a campaign, and then you need to continually monitor that campaign. Like, does it perform well? Should I increase the budget? Should I change the text that I'm using? Should I change the targeting? Should I stop this campaign completely because it's not performing? It's a very common mistake to just for people to just create a campaign and then just leave it running for the entire summer, and then come back to it at the end of the summer just to just pause it. But if you don't monitor it during that time, then it's very possible that you're just spending your money and not getting results back. That's actually one of the main reasons that we see people stop using paid advertising, because they start campaign, they do it on their own. They expect that that's it, we don't need to monitor the campaign, we're going to get the results that we want. And then they don't get the results that they want, and they just decide that, okay, so that's not for me, it's not working. But it could have worked if proper monitoring was applied during the whole process. Another thing is to encourage small scale testing before scaling. So when you start a campaign, just start small, start with a small budget, start with, I don't know, 10 euros per day, 5 euros per day, 10 euros, 15 euros. And then if you see that you get the results that you want, you monitor the campaign, you make some adjustments, then you gradually, you might want to create a second campaign to run next to your first campaign, or you might want to increase your budget, etc. And then another mistake is ending campaigns too soon. So one might set up a campaign, they expect to get, I don't know, 100 bookings in the first 5 days. And that's not going to happen. Campaigns, those platforms need time because they use AI, they use a lot of signals, and they need time to learn, basically. It's called a learning phase. And so you need to give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, ideally, for a campaign to run before you make a decision on whether you should stop running the campaign or continue running it. And now we have some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions about the topics that we covered, maybe about something that we didn't cover and you wanted to know about, any questions that you might have, feel free to ask them and we will do our best to respond.
Go back to our participants. Thank you again for your participation to the webinar on paid advertisements. See you all next time on email marketing webinar. Bye-bye.